Just wanted to do one more video today, this time on the brief disappearance of Rivals.com news reporter Courtney Roland, who was last seen on Saturday night. She had texted a friend that a blue truck was following her, and then she wasn't seen or heard from for well over a day. And it turned out she was found at a Chick-fil-A restaurant, of all places, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So first off, I just want to look at the gematria of the headline here. Courtney Roland, found by Houston police, appears to be unharmed. Now, in the reverse reduction method, this is where you reverse the alphabetical order and then reduce each letter to a single digit. You find that this sums to 272. Now, if we look at Kabbalah gematria, the ALW and KFW ciphers, just the quote, the part that they quoted in the headline, appears to be unharmed, also sums to 272 in both these methods. And it's not incredibly rare for these two methods to have the same number, but it is usually an indicator of intent. I also want to point out how this is 311 reverse ordinal. I just put a video up on the Oprah Winfrey story, and that headline from CNN summed to 311 reduced. This 272 has to do with the mathematics of the moon and Earth. If you round up the diameter of each planet, 2160 and 7920, divide that first number by the second, you get 0.27272 repeating. Now, appears to be unharmed. If you just look at this quote alone by itself, so I'm going to take out the Kabbalah ciphers, and we're going to look at a method called reverse single reduction EP. And what this is, let me just take my mug off the screen here. This is the reverse alphabetical order, numbered 1 through 26, with each number reduced once, except for master numbers, right? So this is like the ultimate way, really, for them to hide a certain number into a phrase. Not the ultimate way, but it's a pretty good one. And it's a very simple cipher, and in this method, it sums to, 185. And the reason I point this out is because the name Courtney Roland equals 185, alphabetic order. And all day we've been getting these 666 revelation stories. And, you know, the reason I explain this is because today is 1818. Well, 6 plus 6 plus 6 equals 18. And that number is in our date twice today. So this 185 is really significant. Book of Revelation equals 185. And the character in this story, Courtney Roland, equals 185, appears to be unharmed, has gematria of 185. You know, these are not coincidences. And let's look at a little more about this story. So first they say that her last text went out at 12:30 a.m. Well, you may have seen my video on astronaut John Young, who just died. Of course, conspiracy and outer space both sums to 123 using the standard alphabetic order. And if you scroll down on this page, you'll see that there was a tweet from a celebrity that went out asking about where this woman is, and it came from Dana White, former owner of the UFC, a guy who's still involved in their operations. But why Dana White, of all people? Well, if you watch my videos, you know that I often say that 13 and 33 are the ultimate hoax codes. And when you write out the name Dana White using square numbers, and this is a mathematical cipher, it's where we multiply each letter by itself before adding it to the equation. So, for instance, B is 2, 2 times 2 is 4. C is 3, 3 times 3 is 9, and so on and so forth. Look at Dana White's name. Dana White equals 1313. How perfect is that? It's the perfect number for this hoax. And look at what time he made this tweet. 10:13. I mean, you really got to be kidding me with this number. 10:13. Well, if you're not familiar with why this is significant, in Baba Kama 113a of the Talmud, it tells Jews it's okay to lie to circumvent a Gentile. You know, people like you and myself. All of these words using the alphabetic order or the reverse order sum to 113. And I challenge anybody to come up with this many words that equate to truth or that define truth with this number. You know, you're not going to find it. But even her license plate has a 777 in it. Look at this, HZC 7778. And again, 777, a stamp of Masonic activity, which is what we're looking at here. And of course, HZC in Jewish equals the same as Saturn, the planet that they seem to be very fond of. There's more about 511, but, you know, that's just for examples purposes. And they even said that she drove a 2015 silver Jeep Cherokee. This seems like a minor coincidence here, but absolutely intentional. Oh, the 15th letter of the alphabet is O, which is a circle, and the 15th card of the tarot is the devil. So again, more evidence that the circle is the mark of the beast. Not just that, but the fact that the media gives this tributes all the time. In fact, look at the gematria of silver Jeep Cherokee. Using Jewish gematria, it sums to 1,740. This is numerology that we're studying, not necessarily mathematics. So that 0 is dropped, meaning that it equates to number of the beast using the alphabetic order, 174. And even this tweet that Dana White put out, coded with the numbers of Revelation. Using the alphabetic order, just drop the tweet into the gematrinator, you see a sum of 2,432. And what's important here is these last three digits, 432. When added to its inverse, 234, you get the number 666. Now, if you look at the reverse gematria here, let me just show you what this looks like. You see 3,103, so we're dropping this 0, so that's 313. And how is the number of the beast said in the King James version of the Bible, the Masonic Bible? They say 636, and that's 313 alphabetic order. Also in Jewish reduced, sums to 1,056. When you write out 666, it equals 156, right? So, clearly intentional. And, I just pointed out here that they said she was found at a Chick-fil-A. It seems like in a lot of these natural disasters story, it's Chick-fil-A coming to the rescue. Chick-fil-A was a participant in the Mandela effect psyop. And say what you want about the Mandela effect, there's a lot of different angles to look at that from. But Chick-fil-A definitely intentionally marketed a different name many, many years ago to fool people into thinking it was spelled differently. And I say this for a number of reasons. I'm a spelling bee champ. I have a photographic memory. I know it was spelled with a C on television when they marketed it here. I have gotten emails from people who used to work as a contractor at a Chick-fil-A and setting the restaurant up, and the paperwork even had it spelled with a K, so they were doing something really weird here. And, I would advise against eating their food, too. I had one meal there. I felt really weird afterwards, but that's something you can experiment with on your own. I just want to mention, too, the reason that they say she got lost was because of her medication. This quote, confused because of a reaction to medication she was taking equals 515 ordinal. And when you write out the number 33, using prime numbers, it sums to 15. So there's another hint at this being a hoax. You got that 33 code as well. In the reduced method, Jewish, 227, the beloved number of the circle, which you can pause the video here and take a look at if you'd like. But I also want to point out her employer has great gematria, Rivals.com. In the reduction and ordinal methods, this sums to 40 and 112. That's the same as circle in the reverse method, 40 and 112. English extended also, 733, the 130th prime number, like a 13. So pretty clear what's going on here. Just attribute to the date. 1/8, 18, 6 plus 6 plus 6. They just got to get their little 666 revelation tributes in on the news today. So thanks again for watching, everybody. God bless.